So Druski dresses in drag to drag Erika Kirk. And not like she doesn't deserve to be dragged. She deserves to be clowned, but the generation that I am from, ain't nobody smiling. This seeing another black man, indigenous American man in wig and makeup, and then in whiteface, but in wig and makeup especially, during a time where there are so many gender wars and there's so much problematic discourse with biological men invading biological women's spaces. And then to correlate that with Hollywood, and Hollywood's obsession with giving indigenous black men the check and the shows and the movies and the fame and the fortune once they put on that dress and wig and makeup, to now having this comedian who y'all might think is really funny. You know, it's not really my type of comedy, but I understand why people like him. You know what I mean? But to have to watch another XY compromise masculinity in order to make comical satire, in order to make a political point, to drag someone, to clown someone who deserves to be clowned, because Erika and all the Erikas in the world, all the people like her, deserve to be clowned, rightfully so, because the white tea political structures in America and all over the globe are problematic. With their colonizer oppressive ways, they deserve to be outed and clowned for sure. Here's the thing. By Druski dressing in drag and dragging Erika Kirk, it actually made the drag more palatable. Because had that been a masculine man, just standing in his masculinity, it would have been a whole different type of fiery response. See, the reason why Hollywood is obsessed with putting black men in dresses is to soften their manhood, to make them more controllable and handled more easily. These are historical facts. I'm not just blowing smoke. How is that any different than with what Druski has just done? Okay? Now, comedy for decades has been used to soften the blow when talking about kings and queens, when talking about presidents and politicians and things that are usually too sensitive to talk about because of the racial undertones and the political undertones of it, right? So racial comedy offers a more softened blow. It's a blow because you're still talking shit about somebody or a system, but it's still a softened blow because you can kiki and kaka at it. So I understand the nature of comedy and why that's necessary. But when you add in gender blurring, it really creates this element that adds to a lot of tension that's going on with gender wars on the planet right now, where you have XYs who go through different types of ways to infiltrate biological women's spaces, whether it's in the healthcare industry, and you have XYs who are able to transition and they're able to get the healthcare and the financial backing to get operations and surgeries and stuff like that. But then you have biological women like who may have a larger size breast that gives them back problems, and they might be able to afford the surgery, but they can't go and get the same type of financial backing for a health issue that is really causing them problems. But then you have biological males who can just walk in and be like, I don't like the body that I was born in, I don't like my sex, can I get this money so I can go get this surgery? And it is automatically granted. Like, we're dealing with issues like that. And in my opinion, in the indigenous American community, who y'all call black people, it is really, really problematic, because it's like they're giving stages and they are giving platforms where they can beat us, imitate us, and actually try to take over us as a group of human beings, as women, as womb holders. And I rage against this all the time. And that's why I don't think, ain't nobody smiling. I don't think it's funny with what Druski had to do to get a political point across. And I understand the psychology behind it and how it helped soften the blow. Yeah, Erika, she made a response. You know, the YTs is going to be enraged and all that other kind of shit. But imagine had it been just a straight up indigenous American woman, you know what I mean, who just got up and spoke about the atrocities of Erika, or if it was a straight up indigenous man with his masculinity intact who got up and spoke against the atrocities of Erika. But it had to be done through comedy, and it had to be done through cross-dressing. Look, we have to protect womanhood as women. Y'all do know that, right? Like, where are the women who ride for womanhood? Where are the women? And I'm not talking about having, you know, sister groups and girlfriends. I'm talking about actually protecting being an XX, being a natural born woman, not letting other beings who are not that come in and demand that we call them us. The aggressiveness of all that testosterone, or you gonna call me a woman because I said I'm a woman, because I got these titties now and I got this ass done and I wear, you know, all this makeup, you know, and these wigs is laid and my edges is slayed and all that other, so I'm a woman too. Where's your mitochondrial DNA? Where's your connection to your ancestral motherline, your bloodline? Not just your ability to have children and to have a monthly, I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking about the science behind what a woman is. This is a divine feminine planet. What about our female intuition? What about our guidance for our children and our communities and women's roles in that on this planet right here and now? Protect womanhood. Y'all need to protect womanhood, because what I'm seeing is a bunch of people, women too, who don't protect womanhood. And then y'all turn around with someone like me, and you'll call me homophobic for standing up and loving to be a woman. But y'all are woman-phobic. Y'all have woman phobia. Y'all have hate for women. And whether you're in a dress, hair, makeup, y'all are all up and down. The allegations cannot be beat. Y'all spewing hatred towards biological women. And I'm talking to men, y'all spewing hate towards biological women all day, every day. The receipts are fucking endless. So no, when I see another big, burly ass indigenous black man putting on wig and makeup to prove a point, I'm not laughing. The shit is not funny, okay? And I don't respect it. And I think that shame should be brought back into our community, because there are other ways to convey messages. There are other ways to fight for our positions as the indigenous people of America. And that's really, really what I wanted to say about it, because the universe don't know no jokes. What you put out comes back. What you put out causes ripple effects. Every cause has an effect. And I would really appreciate if common sense and intelligence will show up again in our community and with people all over the globe.